Welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We're taking on Petrofan68, and we're going to use the Edelgard squad here to get this one going. Could have potentially double saved this, but I mean, this seems like the appropriate answer to what's going on here. So we're going to set up something like this and then get going. Yeah, since Felix is bonus, I definitely wanted to get some use out of him for his bonus season, so I figured, I think I said this in another video, I want to just, get the most out of the bonus stats, and then we'll see where he lands from there. Probably going to use him primarily in Astra Anima, since he does fairly well into Ather, so I figure that's probably the best location for him. And then, as I mentioned, I'll probably put... Well, I could even replace Summer Edelgard with someone else. It doesn't have to be her, it could be someone else there. Because Felix is really just a melee initiator, so... I mean, he also has that Disarm Trap thing, which is pretty cool, but... Winter Edelgard has got me covered in most of those situations. I just have to play a little bit smarter if she's the only one there. But that aside, we're going to be... breaking some of this terrain and then going through to let's okay. Alright, I was hoping that was the real one, but it doesn't matter. Felix can just step on it and it's totally fine. I am a little bit concerned about my plan to initiate with Edelgard. I actually forgot that the ice tile would have gone right there, so I think I might have made a misplay there, but we'll see how that pans out. The only other thing that I was considering, like in terms of this team in general, was if everyone starts adopting Shield Fighter on their near saves, then that's probably going to be like the end of Winter Edelgard, because she really can't break through Shield Fighter. So I don't know what I'll probably have to stop using her if that's the case. I'll have to like use someone. I think unless they're going to make like Potent a drive effect or a status effect. But I don't think they would put that on... That would have to be like on a legendary unit or something. I don't think they would put that on an emblem unit. An emblem unit that just gives out Potent, or gives Potent as a weapon effect, as a emblem effect. That would actually be pretty interesting. But what... Which emblem? I think that might be what they do, actually, because the only other option would be to put it as a skill, and if you put it as a skill, then man, that's going to be inexpensive. Everyone will probably pull for that because you kind of need it for this meta that we're going into, where you definitely need that third attack or that third hit. It's not even just the fact that you need the third hit; you need the third hit to actually do damage. Because I've seen some things, and if you're doing like 10 or 12 on that third hit, then it's really meaningless to have the Potent follow-up. You're probably better off going with triangle attack from Catcher or something. Okay, we're in a little bit of a predicament here. The problem is, I was actually hoping that the Flame Tile would have hit differently from Golvig there to clear that ice terrain, because I was planning to dance above Winter Edelgard and go there, but I think I may have messed up, so we're gonna have to dance Tana instead, because yeah, I lose my 3 actions, but I don't think I would have had another way to get the pots if I had danced Edelgard. Edelgard would have just gotten stuck. It would have been pointless. At least with this, I think I can potentially get out if I play my cards right. I think we take the kill on Shez and then see what we can do against Felix. Really, the most important thing was I was just trying to get Peony into a position where I could benefit from her dance. Because the only other option was just to put her directly below Tana, but then I wouldn't have gotten any benefit out. The dance would have been wasted pretty much. So I figured let's just dance Tana and see what we can do from there. I think I definitely messed this clear up. primarily with the position of Winter Edelgard, because I'm getting none of her actions. I should have put her in the row where Felix was, so that I could have potentially broken that. I broke the wrong ice tile, is ultimately what I'm trying to say. But then again, it would have been down to whether or not that trap in front of Felix was real, but actually it wouldn't have mattered now that I realize it, because Edelgard clears the HP threshold for the magic trap, so it wouldn't have mattered. Definitely some errors there in my setup, but Goldveg is bailing us out because she has 4 actions, so we're gonna just use one of those to escape. And then Felix is gonna pretty much tank the rest of this. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't get both pots. Both pots. Weird. I don't get both pots. So we'll have to settle for one. It was either that or get none of the pots, and that's like not a good plan for like this early in the week. So we're gonna just run away with Golvig here and let Felix tank the rest of the enemy units. Definitely a big misplay here on my part. I could have definitely stepped on that trap with Winter Edelgard had I planned this differently. But I guess it all worked out in the end. Yeah. Man. Totally misplayed this one, but it definitely worked out. I could have also put like Wings of Mercy. I don't know what to do with this Lumeria, because outside of her terrain effect, which is very, very good, and the fact that she's bonus, surprisingly for this week, like there's really no reason for Lumeria to be bonus this week. Yeah, really no reason for her to be bonus this week. So, aside from her terrain, which is very, very good, and her bonus stats, I have no real reason to really run her. I guess she's bonus this week because Brave Female Robin is bonus. So I guess IS has been really smart in terms of like the units that they've been giving us to use as bonus units, or just the units that they've been putting out in general. I think they've done an excellent job in that regards. But I guess she's bonus because she plays out the terrain and she could potentially counter the ice terrain. But you probably need to be running some type of Wings of Mercy setup to get that to work, and I'm not doing that with my Lumeria, so I don't know. My Lumeria is kind of just chilling here. I don't really plan to invest in her heavy. I guess she could probably work really well with High Dragon Wall, so I guess that's another reason that she's bonus, but I don't have a lot of plans for her. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, this one's done. GG's. See you in the next match. Alright, welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We're taking on a Japanese player. Actually, I recently realized that these don't have to be Japanese players. They can probably be Chinese players because the characters are similar. I just can't tell which is which. Or even like Korean. I realize that's also an option. Anyone from like that area, Southeast Pacific area can actually. But anyways, regardless, we're going to use Alphonse on this one. It's pretty straightforward. I'm just going to run straight up to Loki and smack her in the face and then back out with Alphonse. The 4 movements is actually pretty nuts on this Alphonse here. It's nuts on everyone that has 4 movements is actually pretty nuts, but Alphonse with his distant counter uses it really well. I think you could probably do something similar with, let's say, Seliph. Just give him some type of distant counter, and he should work pretty similarly. Subtracting the Breath of Life, you could probably fit that in as some type of support, I guess, and get some type of use out of Brave Seliph in that way. I feel like he would probably be better than Brave Alphonse because of the fact that he has no follow-up and he can double. Alphonse's worst issue, or his biggest issue in my opinion, is that he is highly dependent on his special, and he's highly vulnerable to no follow-up, or not even no follow-up. He just can't double in general. So he needs a way to get a guaranteed follow-up. If he could double, he would perform a lot better. You know those matchups where Ike is able to, because he's so slow, there are certain matchups he has, if you can bless him properly, he can get to like 32 speed in Ether Raids. So if you set it up right, there are certain scenarios where even though you'll have like scowl effects that will prevent him from getting his special on the first hit where he retaliates, if he doubles, he can get his great Ether off on the second hit. So against some matchups against like Attuned Micaiah, that's kind of something that you can do to take her out, because weirdly enough, she can survive Ike even after he triggers his great Ether. Micaiah, the way that they designed that Attuned Micaiah is just really, really nuts. She's everything that Brave Micaiah should have been and more. I kind of want to like dust out my Brave Micaiah just to see if I can get her to perform similarly to Attuned Micaiah, but it seems like it'll be a lot of investment. I don't want to do that. They dropped out the recent or the newest Hall of Forms revival batch, and of course Edelgard's CYL batch is in there, so definitely that'll win more than likely. Just looking at the competition, I don't see why Edelgard would lose. And then what I'm planning to do is upgrade Bernie, Brave Bernie. I plan to give her like a bunch of skills when that banner comes around. I don't think it will be due until like later on, like October, like November maybe, because the poll has to run, and then after the poll runs, it's a couple months before it's actually going to be. Well, October is the next Hall of Forms, and the revival. Okay, so it might be in October actually, but then by then I'm probably Resonance will definitely. I think Resonance is already in. And then we'll probably get some other skills that will help out Brave Lysithea, who is really the one that I'm interested in building. I don't think we'll have Shield Fighter, because Shield Fighter is what? It's August now, right? No, September. Yeah, I don't think Shield Fighter will be available by October. So you won't be able, I don't think you'll be able to get that on Brave Edelgard, but personally I don't think she needs it.
Stealthy,
unless you're using her for like near safe matchups, which, you know, fine, whatever. But I personally, like, I prefer her to have Black Eagle rule, but she can run Shield Fighter and do, you know, fairly well with it because she has Slain.
To take.
But yeah, I really want to get Brave Lysithea. Who else is on that banner? There's Edelgard, Lysithea, Dimitri. I mean, what even would you do with Dimitri aside from give him Laguz for 4? And then Red. No, Red is covered. Colorless? Claude. Oh. I always forget about Brave Claude because, I mean, dud. He's kind of a dud. There's not much that you could give him. I mean, you could probably give him Curve Shot. But you really would need, like, maximum investment to make him work. Ironically, it works pretty well on Legendary Claude, the Curve Shot. But, I mean... one of the bigger disappointments that I had was that I was trying to take out dual Fjorm with Wind Tribe Claude, and I could get him to quad and like hit double lethalities, and she just ate both lethalities and like didn't even care, which is so crazy to me because I guess it just doesn't hit as hard as armor effective damage, but the fact that like Wind Tribe Claude is winning the color triangle and is hitting like 2 you can get him to hit 2 lethalities. The fact that he's able to do that and still not take out dual Fjorm is kind of insane. So yeah, I don't know. I think even if, I think I was saying earlier or in a other video, like I think even if they like make potent like a drive effect or put it on a skill where you get the potent follow-up, unless you have desperation, and that doesn't even matter because most people are running dual Fjorm with Hardy Bearing, so unless you're able to survive a hit from dual Fjorm, which like only 2 units can do, they're like ranged threats, ranged units. I think I've only found 2. Wait, no, actually 1 unit who can live the counterattack from Fjorm, from dual Fjorm. Either Ascended or dual Fjorm. There's only 1 unit that can actually live the counterattack.
As can be.
Probably dual Asker could, but I haven't come across any dual Askers as of late. But 1 unit, and Otherwise, like, getting the follow-up
Orders.
attacks from Potent is kind of irrelevant because you're never going to get to the point where you can actually hit her to make those follow-up
This
attacks
way.
count. And even if you get to the point where you can hit her to make those follow-up attacks count, you would actually need to be doing damage. And a lot of units don't do damage for it to actually matter. I was considering like trying to figure out if I could get some miracle builds in, but then she's so fast that it's kind of difficult to quad her and also run miracle at the same time. Every ounce of speed really does matter. So I don't know what they're gonna do, man. She's so hard to kill. It's like I feel like she's taken over from like Ike,
Ready, sweetie.
which is crazy to say. Like I can get to a point where killing Ike is pretty consistent now, but this Fjorm she's on another level, man. Like I kind of don't like her. I don't like what she's brought to the game, and it's sad to say that, but that's really how I feel, man. Like she's so hard to kill. I don't know what I'm gonna do about it, man. Jeez, GG's.